all martyrs, if you look at it. I mean, these are people who are not unlike what you read in what the Roman Empire did to the first Christians in the first and earliest centuries and decades. It's the identical story. Christians under the Islamic State and under other Islamic organizations and mobs and regimes are oftentimes even being told convert or die, and they are being killed.
Raymond Ibrahim on this program last Thursday detailing the grim choice confronting Christians in the Middle East: convert to Islam or die for their faith. With Miranda Khan, J.D. Hayworth back with you now on Newsmax Prime.
J.D., that continued persecution has been met by relative silence in many international capitals, including our very own, and that leaves many asking, what will it take to awaken Washington and the Obama administration to this threat?
We're joined now by someone who can give voice to what's at stake because he's experienced firsthand this persecution. He's the Archbishop of Erbil, Iraq, Archbishop Bashar Warda. Archbishop, we thank you for your time here on Newsmax Prime. And sir, as I understand it, you've been asking a basic question. Why are your people denied American visas? So let me ask you, why do you think that is?
I don't know, because I'm not aware of the, what we call all the legislations that's behind granting a visa. But one thing I know, that throughout the history that the Americans have said and proven that they are with the victims, with the persecuted people because of their choices, because of their faith. But this time I don't see that much of work has been done on that issue. Yes, there are several visits from congressmen, from politicians, from so many church leaders. Lots of volunteers are really working with the refugees, which is great. But we need more of actions to be done for the Christians and Yazidis, for those who've been persecuted because of their faith.
Archbishop, to put it in perspective, can you give us an idea of just how big of a crisis it is that you and the Christian community are facing right now in Iraq?
It's like this. We have a history of 2,000 years. If we do not act immediately and decisively, this history will be taught only in textbooks. Definitely not in Iraq, because this history have not been taught at all there in the curriculum. Probably in some of the museums and in other colleges, to say that there was Christianity active in this country. So if we do not act, this history will go on. Because imagine in 2003 we have some 1,200,000 Christians. Today we are speaking about less than 300,000 Christians, and everyone is asking, is there a future left in this country? And when you speak about the Yazidis, you are also speaking about another community. So if you are speaking about two indigenous communities of Iraq, if you like to say, forget about Christian, giving the name Christians. Two indigenous people of Iraq is being under threat now. Now, if you don't stand for the Christian faith, at least stand for the victims of Yazidis and Christians together.
And Archbishop, with that in mind, Yazidis, Christians, persecuted indigenous peoples. We know the stark choice we heard earlier was convert to Islam or die. In terms of what awaits those communities in their future, is it flee or fight, or is there a third course of action that you would suggest?
Third course of action would be stopping Daesh, ISIS from advancing, which the Americans, the coalition, have did with the help of the Peshmerga, the Kurdistan fighters, and with the Iraqi army, at least stopping Daesh from advancing, then helping the community to sustain themselves, to be around the area, like in Kurdistan, where they live safely, to help them, sustain them. But most important, to work for naming what's happening in Iraq over the last 12 months as a genocide. Once you name it rightly and justly, and you don't have to worry about the evidence, it's there. It's there. Once you name it, work for it, and as congressman, as the whole states, go for that resolution. It's a genocide happening there, and we have to act. Then you are giving you are doing justice to the people, to the victims, and also acknowledging.
Archbishop, we will have to leave it there, but your description of genocide rings in our ears, and we thank you for your comments. You heard what the Archbishop had to say. What are your comments? Reach out to us at newsmaxtv.com/comments, and we'll be right back.